Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Unbothered podcast, where we like to talk about America's fifth sport, MTV's The Challenge. And today we have a special guest. We are chatting with the one and only Mr. Derek Chavez. You may know him from Real World Cancun, or you may have seen him on The Challenge on either Cutthroat, Battle of the Seasons 2012, and of course, Rivals 2. And he is going to be on the upcoming second season of AllStars. Welcome, Derek. Yay. Thank you. Yay. This is where we
guys, it's good to be back in this kind of like limelight, and like with social media the way it is and podcasts and stuff. So it's like brand new like platforms and stuff. So I'm super excited to like get back out there and get into it and stuff. So
we are so happy you're coming to talk to us.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So thank you again for joining us. We just have a few questions, but of course, wherever the conversation goes is where it goes. That's one of the best parts about all this. So again, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Obviously, like I said, the first time we saw you was Real World Cancun. Can you kind of just tell us how you ended up being on the Real World? Like, did you go to a casting call? Did you have to send in a tape? How did that work?
Yeah, so back in my day, because a lot of people don't think about it, because Johnny and I are still kind of young, but we were legit 2009, so it's like old school, kind of like Real World still, like it was back then. And we still had to do like the open casting calls where you go down and then you had to like send in a video, and we had to send in a VHS. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a big ass little like square thing that you watch movies on back in the day. But no, so mine's kind of different. I mean, it's a funny story. Basically, my roommate had applied for Real World Hollywood the year before, or like 2 years before. And I guess when you go to a casting call, no matter what, if they come back to your city, they'll invite you back. And it's like, hey, we're auditioning for Real World again. Do you want to come back with a friend? Well, I didn't go with her that one time. Like I was hungover from a Halloween party that we had. So she got that invite and I didn't know. And I was sick at the time. And she like kind of tricked me into picking her up because she got her hair did. She got a new outfit on. She had everything. And I looked like shit because I just come back from the doctor's office because I was sick. And she's like, she picked me up. She did it on purpose. She's like, because I was the one that was driving. So obviously I had to go wherever she needed to go. And she's like, will you just come down to this audition for me for Real World? I don't know where it's at, but like, we'll get to skip the line. And back in the day, like those auditions had like hundreds and thousands of people like in line for hours waiting. So to be able to skip the line was pretty cool. So we basically like walked in front of everybody. They have you fill out this application, just like basic information stuff. And then you sit in this big, like 10 to 12 people, like circle interview. And the casting director's there and they just start with it. They're like, hey, let me know. I'm going to go around the room. Let me know something about you guys. And literally these people were like so thirsty to be on this show. Like they were like, one guy was like, oh, I backpacked from the tip of Alaska and I just got done and I ended in South America. And there was like a beauty pageant queen who won all these beauty pageants and blah, 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 blah. And literally she came to me and I was like, I'm valedictorian of my huge class of 37 people in New Mexico. I was like, I don't know if that's cool. And she's like, they like started laughing or whatever. And then this was right before like Obama was gonna like get voted into office. So this is still 2008. And of course she asked the age old questions. So like, what do you guys think about politics? Like, what do my Democrats and Republicans have to say about this upcoming election? And literally just people were going after each other about like this and this and this. And I was just sitting there in the corner, just letting people, because when you're in that kind of situation, you don't think you're going to ever make it onto this kind of stuff. There's so many people that try it, you know, like I didn't do anything special. I didn't even have like, people had headshots, like they were all dolled up. They like looked like they were like auditioning for like a movie part. And I was just there in my sweats, just like, yeah, like whatever. But she looked at me, the casting director looked at me and she's like, so what do you think? I'm like, I'm gay, I'm voting for Obama. That's all. And then she like started laughing about that. And I'm like, oh, whatever. So like, she just like asked us random questions. And then she goes, so I'm gonna say your name and tell me a word that best describes you. And so like, she kept saying people's names. They would say their word, they would leave. She said my roommate's name. She said her word and she got up to leave. And then she looked at my application and held it. And then she like did that for like 2 other people. And then she's like, all right, if I didn't call your name, we were interested in what you had to say. And we want you to stay to fill out like paperwork for the next round of like casting. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I didn't even try. Like my roommate wanted this, you know? So before we got up though, I was like, hey, excuse me. And she's like, what's up? And I was like, you didn't let me say my word that would best describe me. And she's like, oh, what was that word? I was like, amazing. And she's like, oh, great. She's like, get back there. So then we get back to the second part, which is basically like filling out like 4 hours worth of paperwork. Just they ask you just all of your family.
4 hours.
It took us forever. It was like this thick of paper, just you got to fill it out. But I walk back there, and guess who's back there? It's Janae, and she's back there. And we knew each other prior because we worked together. We had just started working together, and so like she was just finishing her paperwork, and she left. And then I went in there and finished mine. And then I was like, all right, I'll never hear from these people again, you know? And sure enough, they called that night, and we were at a haunted house actually. And they were like, hey, it's so-and-so from MTV. We really liked what you had to say in your paper. Would you come in for a video interview tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, sure. And she's like, make sure you're not drinking. As I'm like chugging the beer when she's saying that, she's like, make sure you guys are not drinking because you have to like look good for camera tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you know. But went, did another video interview. The lady was done with the interview, and she's like, oh my God, I love you. Give me a hug. Gave her a hug. And then it just kind of was like this whole process. Like every month it was a new interview. Then it was like, send in your video. And my video was so lame. Like, I think I talked shit about Janae a little bit because we were like competition at that point. And then I showed, I think I did stupid, like what type of gay I would be on the show. Like it was the dumbest video. And I hope no one ever sees that video ever, because I'm like, I thought I was done after that video because it was so stupid, but they ended up liking both of us. And so I thought she got picked before me because she got her final call for her final interview in LA to meet the producers before I did. So at that point I was like, they're not going to pick both of us. And as soon as they got off the phone with Janae, they called me. And then I was the one that went to do my final interview first. And I was still like, I don't know if like, I'm very by the rules. Like I'll do shit to like stir the pot a little bit, but I'm very by the rules when it comes to like competition stuff, or I don't know, I've just been like an athlete. I've just been somebody that follows rules, and because you'll get in trouble if you don't, you know? So I was basically like telling the producers, I'm like, hey, I hope you know that there's another girl that I know that's in the same, like, she's here, she's gonna be here tomorrow. And he was like, if we like both of you, we'll pick both of you. If we don't like either of you, you won't, you know, it's not a big deal. I was like, all right, just make sure, I don't know, you know? And then like 2 weeks later, so that was in October, all the way through December. December was our finals. They called us end of December about the fine of us making the call, and they called and they're like, hey, we got some bad news for you. You're gonna have to find somebody to find your room because you've been picked to be a roommate to live on the show, whatever. I'm like, holy shit. He's like, how do you feel? I'm like, dude, like honestly, if I'm gonna hang up with you and scream like a little girl, because this is like, never thought that this would happen. And so then I was like, all right, well, that means if I made it, that means that Janae didn't make it. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to wait till I see her in person to tell her. I don't want to call her just because I don't want to upset her. This bitch, shit you not, 30 minutes later, called me 30 minutes. I made the show, like screaming about it. And, wow, cool. I was like, well, guess what? I did too. So I was like, it's cool. And they filmed us at our bar and stuff. And then we flew out together. So it was cool. I know there's people that have known each other or known each other, but like us, where we were actually friends and went together.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
So your original friend, was she still friends with you, or was she mad that you got cast?
I think she was a little bitter first. Sorry, Amber. Yeah. She was a little bitter at first, but she came and she visited, and she got to like hang out with us, and like she got the perks out of it. Like I took her everywhere with me afterwards. Like she met LMFAO too and went to like their concerts with me, and we hung out. Like she got perks out of it. And she was on the show. Like, I mean, I don't even know if it says Derek's friend or whatever, but they came down, and there's a part where it's when LMFAO is in our house with us. My 2 best friends are there with us too. So okay. She made an appearance on the show, so she should be happy.
Oh.
How wild was that, having LMFAO in your house on The Real World?
I mean,
I think we're having that delay thing he was talking about.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part. What'd you say?
Oh, my bad. You froze for a minute. I was just
Yeah.
saying, how wild was it to have LMFAO in your guys' house with you on the Real World?
I mean, I don't know if you've seen their videos and stuff. They're insane. They're literally like that in person too. And I didn't know who they were at first. Like when they told us that we were going to be hanging out with them and picking up, like, because our job that we had there was basically to take care of the celebrities, their green rooms, and like hang out with them. And I don't know, but they made up a position for us, but it was cool. It was like, that was like a job that I've always wanted. But when I didn't even know what their I'm in Miami bitch song. I never even heard that song while we were there until become friends with them. Like I still have some of their numbers in my phone. Like I talk to them every now and then. It was crazy, but like just being involved with their lifestyle and their clothes and just like everything is just a production. Like their song Shots, they wrote before, obviously before they made their video, but we would do that little saying every time we would take a shot. So it's like shot, 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 shot. That part, we would literally say that every time we would take a shot. So it's just like, you guys are fucking crazy. I'm pretty sure I've seen all of them naked. They were just like running in our house naked. I've partied with them in Vegas. We did like a spring break thing when MTV used to host spring break. I did a thing with them and we like spent the night with them in the Palms, the big penthouse that has the basketball courts in it and everything. Like we got to hang out with them there. So it's just crazy, like to be involved with that. And then they just fucking blew up after that. Like it was insane. Like they were everywhere after that. I still have all their clothes too. It's funny. I'm in the process of moving right now. So everything, I'm living out of boxes. So that's why I'm turning this way so you guys don't see my house on this side. It's all boxes. But I was just going through all my clothes and I have their leopard skin or their zebra pants. I have like purple and pink ones and yellow ones, and I have their jacket, Party Rock and stuff. So I think I'll keep those with me for a while. But it was wild. It was insane.
Yeah, but do you wear them out in public?
It was cool.
Yeah, you froze there for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry.
I just asked you wear them out in public.
Oh, I do. I used to. I definitely wore them. And I was obviously Red Foo for Halloween for like 3 years. Like, cause you go to multiple parties the weekend. So that was a rotating costume there for a little bit.
That was actually a question I had for you because Halloween is my favorite holiday. And we were wondering what you were dressing up as this year, or if you were dressing up at all.
Oh, so this breaks my heart. So I moved 3 years ago to an apartment with my ex, and we signed a 15-month lease instead of a 12. So that put me in the time of moving in October. And I've literally moved the last 3 years. So I haven't been able to really do anything for door. And I got to go out for one day. This year, I have to get out of my apartment this weekend. So I'm trying to get all my stuff done on Friday and Saturday, and I'm off Sunday. So I'm thinking, do you guys remember in Beetlejuice when Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin were trying to scare Catherine O'Hara in the bed, and they're like in the sheets, and they're like, mm-hmm. I think I'm just gonna wear a sheet like that.
You should. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
I just moved 3 weeks ago, so I feel your pain.
Oh, it's the worst. And I'm like, I told myself, I'm like, this apartment that we just moved in a year ago, I was like, I'm going to stay here at least for 2-3 years. I don't feel like moving again. And then my roommate's finishing school, so he had to move. And I'm like, all right, it's time to move again.
Yeah, moving's a real bitch.
I love decorating for Halloween. Like I decorate the shit out of my apartment. I haven't been able to do it the last 2 years. So next year I'm going all out.
Next year's the year. I feel it in my bones.
Yeah.
It's okay. I completely understand. So I know we could probably talk about your real world experience for like ever, but you don't have forever to talk about it. So the first time that we see you on the challenge is Cutthroat. Did you know what you were kind of getting into on the challenge? Had you watched it prior to being on it?
Oh yeah. So I never really watched Real World at all. I would catch episodes every now and then when they were on, but I was like legit loved the challenge. Like so part of my casting process, we had to do a confessional, and I used an old friend that I had back in the day, like in high school and stuff. He was obsessed with the show, and he actually not knowing, was trying to be the fan favorite voted on for my season. And so I used my confessional to talk about like some shit that had gone down between us and how he wanted to be on the show so bad and I got casted instead of him. So that was my confessional. So, but we were like legit like obsessed with the challenge. Like we worked at Chili's when we were juniors in high school, and one of our parties, like our company parties, was a challenge. Like we legit did. I don't remember what challenge it was, but they did the wheelbarrow and the track, and they had to like push each other around the track. That was one of the challenges. Like we legit did. We had on the fly interviews that we did. Like it was cool. So yeah, I definitely watched that. So I knew into it what to expect. But the cool thing about my first challenge, it was cutthroat, and that was a theme that hadn't been done yet. So that was cool to be like a part of a new theme. And then obviously I was still kind of old school challenge back in the day where rookies go in first no matter what. So I expected if my team wasn't winning, I was going to go in, which sucked, but
it's okay. It still happens.
That's still happening. Right.
But now they serve themselves up on silver platters to do it. It's crazy.
These people are so dumb. I did not get, like, I watched the show and I'm literally sitting there like, why are you guys not throwing in CT right away? I don't care about this vet, stupid, like throw him in. He just won. And you guys are literally handing him another win because no one is even trying to. God damn. There was more of them. There were so many more rookies. Oh.
Yeah, they got rid of all the rookies this season who physically could have taken on CT.
Yeah.
They got rid of him.
That Kells guy is huge. That Kells guy was huge. He could have done something.
Corey Lay. Corey Lay would have had a shot too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love Corey Lay. I got into contact with him early on just to like say, because I think he had posted like his first tweet or something about like he's honored to be like a LGBTQ member of the show. And I remember I was like, oh, welcome. And then we kind of like DM'd and like, so we talk all the time. He's cool. I can't wait to meet him. He's somebody that I'm looking forward to meet. Hopefully.
We just met him in Tampa at Challenge Mania.
Yeah.
Oh, you went? That's cool.
Yeah.
We asked him to be on the podcast.
And he's great.
In person.
He's fantastic.
Yeah, in person. He was like, yeah, but I can't get him to answer that goddamn DM. We'll talk about our cats in DMs, but the podcast one he doesn't read. I don't understand.
Did you guys? Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure. I mean, he's not on the show anymore, but I'm pretty sure he would have to go through the same person to get a hold of to do it. I don't know.
So I'm gonna be honest. You were the only person that we've talked to that told us we had to go through production.
Oh, really? Like I told you, I go by the rules.
Yeah. So
they find people for that shit. I'm not trying to lose any money here. So.
No, I totally understand.
No, we get it. Yeah.
So maybe he'll watch this and he'll see this segment and he'll open up my DM.
Yeah.
Come on, Corey. How many followers, Corey, do you have who are named Nadine? Like, you know who I am. We talked about our
definitely. I'll text him and I'll be like, you need to do this. You need to do this podcast with him.
She talks to him about her cat and his cat. I wanted to talk to you about your dogs.
Oh, you mean this little thing right here?
Yes.
This is Emmy Lou. Look at the camera. She's like, where's the camera at?
Oh.
This is Emmy Lou.
Hi, baby.
And,
she's so cute.
Chuck's over there. But Chuck's over there. Oh, you can actually see Chuck, right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
We're animal lovers.
Oh, I love them. I just took them to the dog park there. I'm trying to get them better at being social with other dogs, and it's working out, so which is good.
Yeah, I cannot take my dogs around other dogs. They're assholes, so.
The older one is, so Chuck's the older one, so he's just very protective of her, where she's like playing. So you know how they nip at each other and they like growl, but they're playing. He takes that as they're doing something to him, so he's got to be this big protector, but he's literally like this big. And I'm like, that dog will step on you. Like, what are you doing?
I have a dachshund and he loves other dogs, but other people, he's a little bit more like, I don't know if I trust you.
Yeah.
So we totally get it.
I had a weenie dog before too, and he was a little shithead.
Yes. He can be. And it's funny, his name's Leroy Brown. So like sometimes I'm like, Leroy. Or like if we're watching the show when Leroy's on it, and I'm like, oh, I love Leroy. And the dog looks at me and I'm like, Well, I do love you too, but I
love
wasn't
you.
referring to you in this moment. But that's so funny. Okay, so back to the challenge. So after Cutthroat, your next season was Battle of the Seasons 2012, and you were on Team Cancun, obviously, with CJ, Janae, and Jasmine. You guys went really far in the game. One of our fellow group members wants to know, do you have any relationship with Marie after that Battle of the Seasons blow up and faceplant?
Yeah, like so it was one of those things too, like we had told St. Thomas in the beginning, and I thought it was very clear, it was very understanding that they were going to be like the scapegoat team. So obviously we knew at one point like all of our alliance is going to have to start going after each other because it's just how it works. And we told them that they were going to be the team that we kept around until we had to start doing that. Then we could throw them in before we had to, you know. We were gonna like have them help us. So I just that's how that like tension got, because she didn't like that. She felt like she was gonna have like get coasted also. But no, I love that people bring that up because it's so fucking funny. And my brother, like when it was about to air, literally every week he would be like, "Is this the week where my brother gets pushed by a girl into a pot?" Find out. Like he would just literally just talk shit about it. But no, after at the reunion and stuff, like not when we were filming, but after that, like we made up, and like even like DMs and stuff, like in between everything, we apologize. It was a drunken thing, but I felt bad for Sam because Sam was laid out in that pot because I got back up and we were still all fighting, and like me and Rob got into a fight, and like he tried to push me and I like threw him down. Like it was this whole that was like a long fight too. Like it was the entire house. It was crazy. But no, I don't have any ill will towards her. It was funny. She made me the person who fell into the pot. So thanks.
It was good TV for sure.
Oh my God. Just watching it like back and forth.
I'm going to be honest. I don't watch Battle of the Seasons 2012 very often. I've rewatched a lot of the seasons quite a few times, mostly because I'm not very fond of the people that were on the winning team. And that season was just crazy anyway. And like to hear like the behind the scenes stuff, like who was supposed to have been on as opposed to who got on, et cetera, et cetera. But were you surprised or anything with how far you guys got, like as a team?
Not really. Like, so in the beginning, it was crazy because Wes and CJ had this like beef that apparently wasn't squashed from Fresh Meat too. And he literally made it very clear that he was going to come after our team the entire time. So I was like, well, I mean, I hate when people have that mindset and are afraid of vets that say that, because you never know what's going to happen. And our team won the first challenge. And I was like, okay, let's make a big move now. So like we agreed to throw him in because the way that it was just going to work it out. And then we got to pick what elimination it was. I'm like, let's fucking throw his ass in a physical one against Big Easy. And sure enough, what happened? He went home. So it's just like one of those things. And we just aligned ourselves with teams that we knew were going to be decent to win. We knew Fresh Meat was always going to go in regardless. And we knew we couldn't let Brooklyn win because Sarah and Chet were amazing. So if they like won, they were going to be able to turn things out. So we just had to make sure they didn't win. And our team was good. So I wasn't surprised when we lost CJ and Jasmine. I was kind of worried because usually the two teams, like when you're a 2-person team, you usually go home next. But like me and John A killed it. Like we did that over like the abandoned ship challenge where we had to like dive underwater and pull the buoys up and then like paddle. We passed Vegas and they were a 4-person team and we were a 2-person team when we passed them. So it's not like we didn't do bad. So
yeah, you guys
no, I wasn't surprised that we made it that far. What I was surprised was we were all under the impression that 4 teams were going into the final. Like that was very like, we thought that was going to happen. And we were part of the 4 teams. We changed locations. We were just under the impression and we were gone almost 7 weeks. So it's just like being gone that long, you just want it to be done with. And then they surprise you with another challenge. It was just like very like, ugh.
Last minute purge.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I wasn't surprised how far we went. I was surprised we weren't able to compete in the final. That's what it was.
Yeah, and you know what? I, as a fan, I absolutely hate when they do that shit. Like, if you're going to change location, everyone who's there should be able to compete in the final. Like, stop messing with people's emotions. I hate that. Like last minute, like
Yeah, they
you're
really
in,
fuck
or
with my emotions.
yes, or like when they purge you in the middle of the final, like they did on War of the Worlds 2. And it's like I would be looking for blood if I was in one of those situations. So I do not
Yeah.
blame you guys. I
Yeah,
totally
when we lost,
forgot.
when Janae and Jasmine, when me and Janae lost, Janae was crying and stuff, and I was pissed. But I mean, I wasn't mad enough for me to cry, and obviously I wasn't sad. But TJ was like, "Really? You're not like that bummed about losing?" I go, "TJ, I'm fucking pissed. Of course I'm bummed. I'm not crying though. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm fucking bummed. You guys flew me out from Africa. It took me 2 days to get here to just go home. Like, what the fuck do you mean?"
I'd be like, of course I'm pissed, but yeah, you're like, what am I gonna do? Cut you all out? It won't change anything. Might make you feel better, but that's
Yeah,
it.
but it was cool though. Like we were actually able to spend a few days there, and we got to fly back home with everybody. So that was cool. I got to like explore Africa. I'll never be able to do that again. Unless it's
Yeah,
on my
that is true. So obviously after your time on Cutthroat, the next time we see you is the following, not Cutthroat, I'm sorry, Battle of the Seasons 12 is I believe the following season, which is Rivals 2, which is a fantastic season. And your rival was Rob from St. Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Were you happy to be paired up with him as your rival?
Yeah, because from seasons to that one, he bulked up, and he's a huge guy. And I was like, hell yeah, I got one of the biggest guys on my team. Hell yeah, let's do this. And it's not like, I mean, I know what he's capable of. Like, everybody saw what I was capable of on seasons. I'm not just like a lackluster challenger. Like, I can do these challenges very well. My elimination record sucks because I usually get in against somebody that's a lot bigger or it's very physical, but my challenge record isn't bad. So, but no, I was super stoked to be Rob's partner, and I was like, let's do this. Like we were set up very perfectly to do good in that challenge, or to do good for that challenge.
I do have a question. Was it really that silent like it appeared on the show when Cara Maria showed up as Cook's new partner? Like, was it actually like nobody was saying or doing anything?
Oh yeah, it was bad, and it was weird too because we were all standing there. We're like, "All right, who is it?" And then she comes out, and we're like, literally nobody said anything or did anything, and it was like crickets. Obviously, no, it wasn't crickets. It was just hearing the waves because we were on the beach, so you just heard the waves just going, and there was like nothing. I was just like, damn, like these people do not like this.
Cara. I love Cara, so.
I think another thing was it wasn't like that they didn't like her. I think, especially for me, it was like it wasn't very surprising because she came in as an alternate on the season before. She just shows up, and then we're like, all right, she wasn't cast this one, and then she just shows up again. And I don't think anybody really knew what the rivalry was, and it's just like, what, this seems kind of like a stretch kind of thing. Like it's
it's no worse. It's no worse than Leroy getting his best friend Mike as his replacement partner of Rivals 1, you know? Yeah, it's definitely
so it's just like, I think it was a combination of some of those people not liking her, and then just not very, it wasn't very surprising because like, oh, Cook, who's this person who's never done a challenge before, is going to get a brand new partner. Like, who are they going to get for her? Like, you know, it's going to be crazy. And then they bring Cara Maria out. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, she's good. I love Cara. I'm just like, it wasn't very surprising.
I think the women were probably pissed because they're already looking at Cook as a physical specimen and like, whoa, she's not going to be easy. Mm-hmm. And then Cara hadn't won by that point, but she at that point had shown like she's nobody to sleep on either. So I was like, I can't believe it was really that quiet.
Oh, not at all. No, girl. And I would never, even during Cutthroat, I would never have been like sleeping on Cara. Like she's another level.
We love her. But anyway, so on Rivals 2, you and Rob go into the first male elimination because even though you're not a like real rookie at that point, you aren't. It's your third season. It's like what we would call like, you know, you're either like an amateur vet is what I would consider it, or like a junior rookie, however. Yeah. And you guys get voted in against Dunbar and Tyree in a variation of a hall brawl. And I think everyone was surprised that you guys won. you guys did really, really well, because on paper, physically, Dunbar and Tyree look like they should have won it. Like, did you guys know ahead of time you were going to have to go in, or you didn't find out until the vote?
So we didn't find out till the vote, and like everybody started scrambling to talking, and like I normally just like listen out and see what people are saying, and like if I hear my name, if I think that like I can do something to like stop it, I'm going to. But at that point, we didn't know how voting was going to work, and the way that the numbers sounded like they were going to happen was it was going to be between us and then Jordan and Marlon. And then we're talking to some of the girls, and they were like, we might vote you guys, we might vote them. And it just sounded like all the guys were going to throw in the rookies because that was the rookie team. I'm like, all right, that's how we're going to do it. So like, we should be safe, Rob. But even if the girls' numbers are against us, the guys' numbers, they're not going to vote us in, you know? And then you knew something was going on when they're like, CJ goes, no, like you guys have to sit on this side, the guys have to sit on this side. We're like, all right, well, that's weird. So then when they said they had all the girls vote, and they're like, hey, Derek and Rob, if it was up to the girls, you guys would be going in. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, well, it is up to the girls. You guys are going in. I'm like, what the fuck? And you just like I that was kind of her, because she thought her vote against me was like a burn vote. Like they were just saying the name they didn't think we were going to go in, you know? And it bites you in the ass, those burn votes. If you don't know how to use them correctly, that's not very good. It's not very good. But yeah, at that point I was just like, wow, this is like one thing that happened that I never would have suspected at all. Like I had just gone in my first challenge very first. And then if we didn't win that first challenge and Wes's team won or had any influence, we would have probably gone in first. And then now I'm going in first again. I'm just like, Jesus, like I thought people liked me. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, it worked out for you.
It did.
Yeah, it worked out. I got my first elimination win. I got to come back. It was cool. I've never got to experience that. So that was like a first time thing. So I liked that.
Were you kind of surprised in a good way that you and Rob did beat Dunbar and Tyree? And essentially, like you said, it's a physical, like you just keep getting thrown into physical elims. There was no puzzle here. Yeah. I think really the biggest advantage you guys had is you being smaller and quicker to like kind of squeak around.
Yeah. Honestly, I really feel like we did a good job, and I'm very happy for us. I think Dunbar wasn't really wanting to be there that much, so he might not have gone as hard as he should have. But I'm going to take that as a win anyway, because I got to stay and he left, so I don't care. But no, I was surprised I was able to get that first one so fast. Like, I know how fast I am, but like, just the way that it wasn't very big for two people to be in there at the same time, let alone four. So I just didn't know I was going to be able to swoop through as fast as I did. So that surprised me. And then after you get that first one and your adrenaline's going, then it's like, all right, you can't lose. And there was no way I was going to like let him beat me. So no, it was intimidating at first, but it was very rewarding. It's one of the most rewarding things that I've done on the show. So
that's fantastic. And you should definitely be proud of it. Absolutely. I mean, I would be. I don't blame you at all. So obviously Rivals 2 is the last time we see you, and it's the last time we're going to see you until the AllStars 2 season premieres. Did you kind of stop just getting calls, or just things in life change and you were like, this just isn't going to work for me right now?
No, so what sucks is, so I got a phone call, and I don't know if it was just kind of like a brief availability call for free agents, and it wasn't anything serious. I didn't really hear back from him again, so I didn't think it was like going to happen. So I got a call for that, but it just didn't happen. And then what was after that? Was Bloodlines after that one, or was it X's 2?
I think. Ooh, good question.
I think it was Bloodlines.
Might have been. I can look.
I don't remember. I see it, and yeah, I think. Anyways, whatever one it was, if it was Bloodlines, me and my cousin made it to final castings, and she's a teacher, and she was very athletic. She like was a softball player. She's perfect for the show. They were kind of worried they were going to screw her career up, and they're like, she still has to like provide for the show. Like they go, we're just afraid she's not going to like be like a part of the show because of her career. And I was like, oh, that's understandable. So then we didn't make the final cast. And then for X's 2, I got a phone call for availability twice, which means that I had, at that point, if it was not X's 2, it was something else. And if it was X's 2, then it was either going to be Frank or Marlon, who were my partners, which that would have been a dream partner with either of them. But
Yes.
they turned,
Oh my
they
God.
both turned it down. One of them turned it down, or they didn't go through. So then I was like, after I found out it was X's, and I found out like, well, those could have been the only 2 X's it could have been. I'm like,
It would have
well,
been
shit, that
Frank
sucks.
because we
And then
talked to
I didn't have
Marlon.
a female rival unless it was going to be Marie, and I don't.
I think
They didn't
everybody
call him for that one.
froze just now.
Yeah, because I think when we talked to Marlon, he never really
Hold on, I think we
got.
froze again.
I think he
This
got
is
like
annoying. I'm
maybe.
sorry. I don't know if
You're
it's
okay.
mine or what's going on.
I think he got like a call for like one season after Free Agents, but I don't think he ever said about getting a
Whoever it
call for
was.
X's.
Well, so we wouldn't have known because they don't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
They don't let you know anything until you get there. So I would love to have him as a partner. He's awesome. And Frank too. Frank kills it.
huge.
So
So
Marlon's a
God.
badass.
Marlon is. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten an All-Stars call.
Yeah.
not even All-Stars, regular show. He's a beast. I'm surprised. Like, I don't know why they missed that opportunity. They missed the opportunity with him. They missed the opportunity with Scott Herman from Brooklyn. Like, that guy's huge too. Like, they're big guys. I don't know why. I don't know where they went wrong with them, but I would love to see Marlon back on the show.
We can't even get them to make reigning female champions cast members without being alternates the next season. I don't know why they do half the things they do.
I know.
Right. We gripe about
and
it
then,
all
like,
the time.
yeah. So then after that invasion, I didn't get a call for. And then obviously starting with 30, it started being theme stuff, and I just wasn't a part of it. So then I just never got called back again for it.
So how did you feel when you got the call for AllStars 2?
I was literally on. So I watched AllStars 1 because I was cheering on my girl, Janae. She killed it in that.
Yeah, she did.
But she was like, I remember she had told me that she got called again for another one. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was like, obviously they're going to bring you back. Like, you fucking killed it. And I remember going to lunch with my roommate, and one of the casting directors, who's always been like the one that's always contacted me, and I've always done whatever. She's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, wow, this is a number from the past. Like, what's going on? She's like, so like the network's really interested to have you for like AllStars 2. Would you be interested? I'm like, oh, is this an availability call or like whatever? And she's like, no, like pretty much if you say yeah, it's almost a guarantee that you'll be on. I'm like, okay, like then yeah, I just need to make it work with school and stuff. And sure enough, it was just the whole casting process, and I made it on like right away. So I was like, cool, start training for it. Let's get it going. I'm excited. Like, I haven't done this in so long. I'm nervous. But then you start like, okay, well, who's going to go? Like, you got to size yourself up. You got to like figure out what you got to do, how you're going to bring it, you know? So,
speaking of which, we see on social media that you developed a friendship with Ryan Kehoe, and we know he is going to be on AllStars 2. Did that friendship start in the AllStars 2 house, or were you guys kind of already friends prior to that?
Oh no, we were friends way before that. It was funny. I don't know. I think it's on his social media. There's pictures of us, and we're like super young. So after our Real World Cancun reunion, we stayed in New York. Like, a bunch of us stayed in New York, and we had like appearances, and we did like all sorts of stuff like for press and everything. And at the time, he lived with Paula, and we knew Paula, so we went and stayed with them for a couple of days. And like, we knew each other, and we were friends, and we kept in touch like every so often. But I knew that he was an alternate last season, and then we kind of got back into contact about this show, and we're like, oh yeah, we're both going. So then we just kind of like started talking, and then on the show, it's just like reconnecting as if we had not seen each other for years. And it was just like, it just developed again, and it was just back where it was. And he's an old sissy. He's my older sister. I love him to death. We
love Ryan.
He was definitely somebody that I appreciated having in the All-Star house. He's great. He's actually he's gonna be here in Arizona for the premiere.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be
We
cool.
love Ryan. We are so excited for the premiere. I love John A. I think most of us do. And then I just naturally root for Kendall because I loved her on All Stars 1, and then we interviewed her. So now I like her even more. Was there, I know you can't really give any details about All Stars 2 because nothing's aired yet, but if you can say anything, like who did you get along with the most? Like who did you come out of that house being friends with that maybe you weren't before or you didn't really know before?
So I'm gonna say right now, everybody in that house, the vibe was so like cool. Like it was unlike any other challenge house that I've been in because I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of backstabbing at the very beginning. People are like very cliquey. This one was just like everybody just reconnecting, people that we didn't know or I've never met or who I've seen when I was younger and stuff. I'm like in this house with like Darrell. I've never met him. Awesome person. Jody, amazing. I was very surprised, and not in a bad way or anything. I was just very obviously, and I think you guys would feel the same way as the intimidation that you think that Tina would give out. I was very surprised how quick we became friends and how close we became. And I love Tina. Like she was somebody great to talk to. And you can tell she's one of those people that have grown from this experience. And like, she's like, I don't know why I'm back here. Like, I thought I was out of this, but like, she goes, I just want to see if I still have it kind of thing. So I was very excited to come out with a friendship with Tina.
Yeah, I saw the picture of you two on your Instagram. It was a good picture.
Oh, it was a great time. So we were in New York, and that's why I'm glad that I got to finally post these pictures because we were in New York a few months ago, just doing press stuff that'll be released, and it was just cool because like I got to hang out with these people again, and we were hanging out without the cameras on us and stuff. So it's just like you actually get to know these people and you get to talk to them more, and like it's not something that like some on the show, like you don't want to like show everything. You don't want everybody to know your whole life, but like becoming you get to do that. And me and her had a blast in New York. We were done doing everything. We checked out of our hotel. She was staying for a couple of extra days. I was staying with Ryan another day. I was like, let's go just have fun. So like we just bounced throughout the city and it was really fun. She's a really cool person.
I love Tina's energy. I just feel like, I don't know. And that picture, we shared it on our IG page that we have because we try to, kind of do that. And I can't wait to see her again. The last time I kind of like listened to her was when she did a Challenge Mania interview like a while ago. And I'm like, she is still just as fiery as ever. And I can't fucking wait to see it.
She's quick at everything too. It's great.
I think she's already a meme banging the pots and the pans. Like people have already done that picture with Josh's picture from Big Brother. And it's like, who did it better or who did it best? So I can't wait to see that in real time. Do you have any stories from your challenge or real world season that like wild stories that you still remember that maybe we don't really know about that you can share?
Just like, so on some of these challenges, you get to go out and it's not always aired. Like it's one of those things, like it's obviously if there's a story behind it, it'll air and stuff. But like sometimes we just go out there. Yeah, the cameras will be out there, but sometimes it just never gets aired. My favorite stuff that we ever did was in Turkey for Battle of the Seasons. We would go to like this little like, I don't even know what you would call it. It was like a dock, but it was like a bar. And it was just like right off the sea. The water was so crisp and blue. We would just sit there. We'd get a cabana. We would eat like fresh seafood, go swimming. It was just cool, like just to be there and being able to like experience that like we were on vacation. And then there was I think it showed a part of some of it on the show, but like we got to go on a boat a couple of times. So it's just like the stuff like that they just let us enjoy ourselves. I appreciate that because we need that in that kind of environment. Like you don't know how crazy you'll get being with but like 30 people in a house and not being able to do anything.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
The tension's, Yeah. Yeah, but no, it's just the things that like we get to do that don't necessarily have to be a part of the story that I love.
But like there's always like just go take a breather.
Here's a funny story too. So there was before we flew to Turkey, we were all getting drunk at the bar at the airport, and some of the cast members got so fucked up they almost didn't let them on. And I remember production was like, if you guys make us have to rebook all 32 of your guys' flights. You guys are all getting fined. And like, they were so pissed off at us. But I mean, you put us all together, you put 30 of us together with booze. Like, I don't know what you expect.
I know. It's like they act surprised when 30 people get drunk and be crazy.
Yeah.
This is a Catholic church, like, hello. But we are so excited to see you on the upcoming season of AllStars. We are rooting for you. Hopefully this will not be a one and done. And then we're going to do a little thing where Frankie will ask you random fun questions, rando and fun, just to kind of like help us get to know you as Derek a little bit better.
Yeah, so these are like questions that don't make sense. They're just random questions. So if you had one superpower, what would it be? Oh, sorry. Did you hear it?
Invisibility. Yep. Invisibility. I would be so I'd go invisible when I know people are talking shit.
That would be.
That's a great answer.
What is your favorite bottled water?
Smart water. I like the smart water sizes. Like if I'm gonna drink a smart water, it has to be the ginormous bottle. It can't be the little tiny ones, but definitely the ginormous smart waters.
Good answer.
If the zombie apocalypse happens,
is that your favorite?
Oh yeah. I'm more of a Fiji person.
Fiji's good.
All right. If the zombie apocalypse happened right now, how long are you gonna survive?
I'd give me like a few weeks. Give me a solid few weeks. I'd get out there, try to kill as many as I can, but I know my ass can't survive in the wilderness. My uncles and everybody are hunters and go camping and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So I would definitely give myself a few weeks.
I would just be done in a day. Like, I'm not even gonna try it. All right. If animals could talk, what animal would be the coolest to hang out with?
My dogs, duh. I would love to just sit and gossip with my dogs. They watch Real Housewives with me anyway, so I'd be like, what do you think about fucking Kyle's outfit?
Oh, your favorite Real Housewives franchise? Because I love Real Housewives too.
Yeah. Beverly Hills and Atlanta. But I heard that I need to get into Potomac. How do you say that word?
Potomac.
Yeah, I heard
it's
I have
based
to get
in
into
Maryland.
that one. So I'm waiting until these new seasons are done. Yeah. Okay. So that's going to be my next one to start binging. But as of right now, Beverly Hills and Atlanta.
What is your favorite thing that you own?
What is my favorite what?
Thing that you own.
My mattress. I think my mattress is fucking comfortable as shit. And every time I just get on it, I can just pass out. So I definitely highly encourage people to buy an expensive mattress. They're definitely worth it.
All right. And my last one. If you could have any celebrity as your best friend, who would it be?
Oh shit, that's a good one. I definitely would want to have Betty White. I feel like she'd be a great person to be a best friend with. I would love to hear all of her experiences. She would make you laugh constantly. And it's just one of those people that you just love so much that you just want to be around constantly. So I think I would definitely want to be a best friend with Betty White.
Good answer.
Good answer. Yeah.
Love those. All right, guys. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to ask Derek while we still have him?
Yep.
No,
anything.
I'm good. Oh, actually, do you have any like future projects or anything that you want to get out there?
So not necessarily in the entertainment business or like shows or anything right now. Like I took time off because I graduated in May, but I still had to do a few like classes and an internship and stuff. So I took time off in the summer to do this show. So my main focus right now is just to try and get everything completely done, which if all goes well, I'll be done with forever with school in December 3rd. So anything after that, I don't know yet. Hopefully.
Right.
I'm not going to say that I'm definitely leaving the door open to come back on AllStars eventually again, or I would love to get casted on the real show. I'm not like these people. I'm on AllStars, but I'm also the same age as the people on the main show. Like I was the youngest guy on this show. So it's like still the age that I could do that. So anybody's out there listening.
Absolutely. Now, on social media, for anybody who does not know how to find you and they want to go follow you, tell us what platforms you're on and what your handles are.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Both of them, the handles are similar. One's my name with my last name initial, but it's d.e.r.e.k.c. So that's Instagram. And then Twitter's the exact same thing, but it's underscores. It's you're either gonna see Derek Kaczynski or see me. So if you're typing in Derek from MTV, or you'll find it.
Good to know, and I'll include it as like a text on the bottom for anybody that watches the video. If you're not following us, guys, which you really should be at this point, on YouTube, we are the Unbothered Podcast. Check us out, subscribe. Our 2 Facebook groups are the Challenge Unbothered and Entertainment Unbothered, where we talk about anything else that's not related to the challenge in media land. On Instagram, we are at the Challenge Unbothered, and Twitter at UnbotheredPod1. So give us a follow, give us a like. Obviously, once we get this edited and posted, we will send you a link, Derek. Hopefully you will share it on your social media as well, so people can check us out, and your fellow cast members can be like, okay, yeah, we'll talk to them, and they'll answer my DMs.
Oreo.
Okay. How long do you think that it's going to be until you have everything done?
Probably only a couple days.
Cool. Yeah. No, let me know when you want me to. I'll promote it. I'll do everything you need to. I actually don't follow you yet, but I will get off this and I will follow you right after this. So.
Thank
Awesome.
you. Yes.
Thanks for the opportunity, guys. This was great. I love doing these things. I love talking to people who are so into this show just like I am, because it's like, even not being a part of it, I know, like, being friends with these people, I'm still a big fan of the show. So I will sit there and talk shit to my dogs about people on the show.
I love that. Yes. We could talk housewife goss too. Anyway, thank you. Yes. Because tonight's the 3rd part of the Beverly Hills reunion.
500th episode. And 500th episode, and then the 3rd part. Yeah. It's gonna get juicy.
To be great. So thank you again, Derek. We hope you have a wonderful evening. Good luck with moving. Fingers crossed everything goes as smoothly as possible. We know it's a pain, and we will talk with you later.
Yep. All righty. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Bye. Of course.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.